Clear your ear holes for a tale that may very well save your life, especially if you be a crappy person. Our tale takes place in the deep, dark woods of Kootenai National Forest, with a group of deer hunters who called themselves the Harbingers of Deerth. One member of the Harbingers of Deerth stood out. His name was Joe. He loved hunting deer so much that he had his name legally changed to Hunter Joe. But Joe had a problem. He would shoot the deer just to watch them suffer, for he enjoyed the pain of others. And he wouldn't even use the deer parts. In fact, he was a vegetarian. Can you believe that? It's true. He would just shoot them and leave them where they lie. One member of the Harbingers of Deerth named Tim had a great respect for the deer folk. Tim would weep every time he would pull the trigger to take the life of a deer, and he would ask for forgiveness before, after, and during that process. Furthermore, over the corpse of any deer that he had killed, he would sing the full length of Ave Maria and say a prayer for the deer's soul. He would use every single part of the deer. The entrails would make a nice, handsome girdle. The deer's feet he would cut off, and they would be lucky deer feet for his children, which was perfect. He had 4. And with the deer's eyes, he would make contact lenses that would give him a cool deer effect, helping him to see better at night. I digress. So Tim confronted Joe. He said, "Joe, this is not right. You can't be just shooting deers, busting caps in them, and leaving them where they lie, and not taking responsibility. At least make a hat out of them or something. Respect them deers." But Joe would hear none of it. And then on one fateful camping trip, Joe's depravity became too much to handle. He started teabagging all of his kills right in front of his friends. That's right, you heard me. He was teabagging those deer like he was playing Call of Duty, but in real life. For his crimes against deerkin, Joe was banned from the Harbingers of Deerth and had to be a solo hunter from there on out. His depravity only got worse, and he restricted his hunting to nighttime when no one could see his misdeeds, thus leading us to the horrible fate of Hunter Joe. The moon was winking its light upon Hunter Joe as he was stalking deers, his kill count through the roof. He was stopped dead in his tracks when he spotted an unnatural sight, a deer floating towards him with its hooves dragging across the ground, screeching. And that's when he heard the noise. That was when Joe took flight. But you see, Joe is no deer, and he's no friend of the forest, so he tripped on a root and came crashing down. As he lay there, that's when the amalgam of all of the deer he had ever killed approached him. A grisly sight that would invoke fear within anyone, regardless of how many bushels of chest hair one has. And when the wrathful spirit of the forest was just above Hunter Joe, that's when he fainted from fear. He awoke that next morning in his sleeping bag. Perhaps all was just a bad nightmare, he thought. And when he went to say something, all he heard was, "Meow." For you see, he had been turned into a deer. He got out of his sleeping bag and walked around. He took some bites of grass and realized, wow, that's quite tasty. It dawned on him that for the first time in his life, he was free from his murderous rage, for he lacked the opposable thumbs to hold weapons and such. And so he was quite blissful, finding herds of deer to run around with, until one day he heard weeping in the bushes. It sounded familiar, yet alien to his new bestial ears. And then the pain came in his chest, for he had been shot. As he lay there, with his deer juices flowing from him slowly, he heard Ave Maria, such a beautiful sound. And it was at that point he was grateful for a merciful death from his old friend Tim, and he shed a tear for all the times that he did not have mercy for his own kin.